I've been with William for 3 years. I understand in my heart. I'm just a substitute for the ideal image he has in his heart, because only the equipment at his family's hospital can keep my mother alive. So I have to do this. But now, his first love has returned. My mother's condition is very dangerous. I called him again. He coldly replied, "This has nothing to do with me." The doctor had a serious expression. He said to me in a cold voice, "Olivia, your mother's lungs have multiple infections. She needs surgery immediately. Additionally, your family's medical expenses are no longer sufficient. If the fees are not replenished by tomorrow morning, we may only be able to arrange for your mother to be transferred." After hearing the doctor's words, I felt like I had been doused with a bucket of cold water. I felt cold all over. I nervously dialed William's number. "Hello, what's the matter?" on the other end of the line. His voice sounds a bit unhappy. My mother has a lung infection. She needs to have surgery immediately. Can you?" I'm speaking with a choked voice. My voice is almost drowned by tears. "Enough, I haven't finished talking." William interrupted without hesitation. "You only contact me because of your mother. Is there anything else, your mother's condition? What does that have to do with me? I still want to try a little harder, even if there's just a tiny bit of hope." But just then, a gentle female voice came from the other end of the phone. "William, today is our first meeting since we reunited. Why are you still answering calls from other women?" Upon hearing this, my heart suddenly felt cold. That was the voice of Sophia, William's first love, who had disappeared for 3 years. 3 years ago, my mother had a sudden heart attack. Only William's group hospital had the equipment to keep her alive. But the high expenses every day, for someone like me who just graduated from college, it's simply an unbearable burden. I knelt before the doctor. I begged him for a glimmer of hope. Just when I was about to give up, William appeared. He pulled me up. His eyes were red. His voice trembled as he shouted, "Sophia." But when he realized I wasn't the person he thought I was, his gaze immediately lost its light. That night, he took me home. He casually handed me a contract. "Olivia, from today on, you will be my partner. I will cover your mother's medical expenses." I signed the contract without hesitation. That night, he approached me fiercely like a storm. Every movement was urgent and possessive. As someone experiencing this for the first time, I felt pain beneath him. Teardrops flowed down unconsciously, but he seemed completely oblivious to my discomfort. On the contrary, it became even more intense. He kept shouting that name. "Sophia, Sophia." The speakers in the room were still playing the birthday song that Sophia sang for him. Looking at my mother's pale and weak face on the hospital bed, I knew I couldn't just wait like this. I immediately rushed to the club that William often visited. I pushed open the heavy door. The noisy sounds and laughter immediately hit me. In the room, a group of people was surrounding a pair of men and women in the center, cheering, "Give her a kiss, give her a kiss." Sophia had a playing card in her mouth. Her gaze was provocative. William slowly moved closer to her. The movement seemed ambiguous. As soon as I walked in, the lively atmosphere in the room instantly cooled down. Everyone gradually quieted down. All eyes turned to me in unison. William's movement suddenly stopped. He slowly turned his head. In the dim light, his face appeared blurred. His expression was inscrutable. "Didn't you say you wouldn't come? Why are you following me again?" he said with a sarcastic tone. I bit my lip. I said hesitantly, "Could you come out for a moment? I have something very important to discuss with you." William sneered dismissively, casually leaning on the sofa. "Either say it here, or go back. Don't cause trouble here." I took a deep breath, struggling to suppress the discomfort inside. I slowly walked up to him. Can you help me pay my mother's medical fees now? She really needs this money." Before I finished speaking, William suddenly stood up. He grabbed my shoulders tightly. It hurt so much I could barely breathe. He shouted Olivia's name loudly. His tone was filled with anger and complex emotions. "You came to find me, just to say this. Is this all that's left between us, just these troubles?" My eyes were filled with tears. My voice trembled, almost unable to speak. "I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't disturb you, but my mother is really in danger right now." "Enough," William shouted loudly. He pushed me away. "Your mother's situation has nothing to do with me. If you keep talking nonsense, just get out." Sophia gently took William's arm. She said softly, "William, don't be so harsh on the young girl. You'll scare her. This small matter of medical expenses. Let's be generous about it. Don't let this ruin tonight's good mood." William was gently pulled back by Sophia. He sat back down on the sofa. He stared at me. Her eyes were filled with disdain and indifference. It was as if she were looking at an insignificant minor character. "You should go home first. Let's talk again when I come back tomorrow." His tone was cold and icy. There was no emotion at all. I was just about to speak. Sophia gently took my hand. Her tone was gentle but firm. "Little sister, look at how happily William is playing right now. Don't disturb him. Wait until he's in a better mood. He will definitely help you with the medical expenses." Sophia's words sounded like concern, but they were clearly laced with sarcasm and disdain. As she spoke, she forcefully pulled me out of the room. As soon as we stepped out of the room, Sophia seemed like a different person. The gentle expression on her face vanished instantly. Instead, a smirk of triumph appeared. "What's wrong? Don't you know yet I'm back? Your role as a substitute is over. Although for William, that amount of money is nothing at all. But he also doesn't want to waste any more time on someone as insignificant as you." I looked at her face, which resembled mine a bit. I smiled helplessly. "Yeah, how could I compare myself to a rich girl like her?" She disdainfully wiped her hand that had just touched mine. She said coldly, "Your mother is still alive. Hurry back to see her one last time, so you won't be a bother here." After saying that, she turned and entered the private room, once the door was closed. I caught a glimpse of William smiling broadly through the crack of the door. He was holding out a glass of wine to Sophia. That gentle expression was something I had never seen before. I stumbled back to the hospital, only to find that the respirator on my mother had already been removed. She had also been taken out of the ward. She was lying in the hallway. "What is going on? Wasn't it agreed that I could pay tomorrow morning?" I angrily rushed to the doctor's duty room. The doctor looked at me. He said coldly, "We are just following instructions." I knelt by my mother's bedside. My tears flowed uncontrollably. I tightly held my mother's wrinkled hand. My heart was filled with regret and guilt. I hated my own helplessness. I hated how small and fragile I seemed in the face of fate. I once naively thought, as long as I obediently played the role of Sophia's substitute, William would continue to pay for my mother's medical expenses. In these 3 years, I carefully stayed by his side. I tried hard to be a good girlfriend. I just hoped he could help my mother a bit more. But I still forgot. I'm just a substitute, a person who can be replaced at any time. Now, his true love has returned. So my role as a substitute is no longer needed. Just when I was sinking into despair, a gentle voice sounded, "I can save your mother." I looked up. It was James, a student of my mother's attending physician. He said, "My mother's medical team abroad has developed a special medication, specifically for treating the type of heart disease your mother has. However, this medication has not yet been approved for use in the country. If you agree, we can treat your mother for free. However, you and your mother have to come with me to the United States. This way, we can observe the patient's recovery." His tone revealed a hint of request and expectation. As he spoke, he handed me the introduction materials for his mother's medical team. "This is an introduction to the new medication. You can take a look. Let me know once you've made a decision." I took the materials with trembling hands. I carefully flipped through each page. Every word seemed to remind me, this is the only chance to save my mother. I looked at my weak mother lying in the hospital bed. My mind was already made up. 5 years have passed. I just walked into the nursing home. Then I heard my mother's cheerful laughter coming from the end of the corridor, followed by her excited voice. "Oh no," I hurried to the room. She said with a slightly reproachful smile, "Mom, you snuck off to play mahjong again." I linked arms with my mom, walking slowly along the tidy garden path in the nursing home. The spring breeze gently blows. I couldn't help but say again, "Your heart has only just stabilized. Why are you so eager to play mahjong? It really worries me." My mother laughed happily, like a little child. She kept agreeing. Okay, Mom understands. It's just to pass the time. Why didn't James come with you today? He has an urgent matter at the hospital." My mother gently patted the back of my hand, eyes filled with gratitude. "James is truly a rare good kid. We have been in the United States for these years, thanks to him and his mother's medical team." Mom, I understand everything." I interrupted her. My heart was filled with mixed feelings. 5 years ago, my mom and I came to the United States with James. Mom soon received treatment from a top medical team. Thanks to James's persistence and effort, 2 years ago, he successfully helped my mother manage her heart disease. He even specially selected this Chinese nursing home for us, so that my mother could rest here peacefully. Meanwhile, I also picked up my brush again during that time. At first, I was just trying to make a living, drawing portraits for people on the street. Unexpectedly, I was actually noticed by a famous painter. He even made an exception and took me as his disciple. Now, my agency is busy preparing a global art exhibition for me. My paintings can even sell for tens of thousands of dollars. In the evening, James arrived at the nursing home to pick me up right on time. He told me, next month, the company plans to hold an art exhibition for me domestically. Which city? Chicago. James suddenly slammed on the brakes. I was tightly strapped in by the seatbelt. I couldn't help but cough. That car just now was really. I had just opened my mouth. I hadn't finished speaking. James turned his head to look at me. His eyes were filled with concern. How about this? I'll go back with you. As he spoke, there was a hint of probing in his tone. I turned my head. Looking into his eyes, I smiled. What are you worried about? I'm just going back to hold an exhibition. When he accompanied me to the boarding gate, still full of concern, reminding me over and over again, if anything happens, call me immediately. I can fly over to see you anytime. Just got off the plane. I'm standing in this city that is both familiar and strange, feeling a bit complicated inside. 5 years ago, I rushed away from here. Now I'm back, and everything has changed. About the art exhibition, the company has almost arranged everything, just waiting for my final confirmation. After a whole day of work at the gallery with the team, my agent Nancy told me, the sponsors of this art exhibition want to meet the artist. They've also booked a place for dinner. Arrived at the restaurant, I pushed open the door to the private room. In that moment, I was stunned. The person sitting inside was actually William. William stood in front of me, no longer the youthful look he used to have. His gaze was deep, as if he could see through a person's heart. Nancy enthusiastically wanted to introduce. Olivia, this is the sponsor of this art exhibition. William, she hasn't finished speaking. William interrupted and spoke first. Olivia, long time no see. His tone was calm. His eyes were filled with expectation. Nancy asked in surprise, you know each other? I smiled and replied calmly, that's right. We've met a few times before. I smiled and extended my hand and said, William, long time no see. William's expression suddenly turned very unpleasant. He turned around directly and sat down. He completely ignored my outstretched hand. Nancy saw the situation and quickly came out to smooth things over. Everyone, please take a seat. Don't just stand there throughout the dinner. The atmosphere was always awkward. After finishing the meal, I was just about to get into Nancy's car. William came over and grabbed my arm. I'm going the same way as you. Let me give you a ride. I raised my eyebrows slightly. I asked, William, you probably don't know where I live. Do you? He didn't say anything. He just held my wrist tightly. He directly led me to his car. I had no choice but to say to Nancy, it's okay, Nancy. William will take me home. You go back first. I will take care of myself. William didn't say a word the whole way. The atmosphere in the car was so tense that it was hard to breathe. Finally, the car stopped in front of the hotel where I was staying. I politely said, thank you, William. Goodbye. I was just about to get out of the car. He suddenly grabbed my wrist. His voice carried a sense of reluctance. You've been avoiding me for so many years. Don't you have anything to say to me? I broke free from his tight grip on my wrist. He looked at him calmly. No, he angrily hit the steering wheel. It seemed like he wanted to vent all his dissatisfaction and anger. Olivia, you really are something. You just decided to leave. What do you take me, William? For my tone is calm, with a sense of distance. It's the boss who hired me. I'm just your hired stand-in. Now that the main person is back, I will naturally step aside. I understand this basic rule. I let out a long sigh, my eyes reflecting weariness. William, as for our matters, they were concluded 5 years ago. Now we are merely work partners. Thank you for bringing me back today. Goodbye. After saying that, I got out of the car directly and did not linger. I had just entered the room when my phone rang. It was a video call from James. He talked a lot. He asked me about the art exhibition. He also asked about the changes in Chicago. In the end, he couldn't help it. He tentatively asked me, have you run into any acquaintances? I smiled and said, you went around in such a big circle. Actually, you just wanted to ask this, right? He felt a bit embarrassed. I saw William today. It turns out he is the sponsor of this art exhibition. I just found out as well. He on the other end of the video was silent for a while. So long that I thought he had disconnected. He finally spoke up. You. His voice sounded a bit shaky. Olivia, we got married in the U.S. back then. Actually, it was just to let you stay there legally, if you feel it's inappropriate. We can dissolve the marriage at any time. You are free." The next morning, I had just left the hotel and found William's car already waiting outside. "Get in the car." I politely declined. "William, no need to trouble yourself. I'm an investor. Can't I ask where my money is being used?" I had no choice but to get in the car. I just sat down. A paper bag fell into my lap. William said softly, "Breakfast, don't skip meals." I looked up at him. His expression was somewhat awkward, but it carried a hint of warmth. I felt a stir in my heart. It felt like a dream. Once upon a time, I used to prepare breakfast for him with care every morning, but he would always criticize and say, "Sophia wouldn't make such ordinary things. You need to learn properly." I tried hard to imitate everything about Sophia, including her cooking style, just to make him happy, but he always responded coldly. These, I no longer liked. Looking back now, the key is not in the taste of the food, but in the people. I can never become the person in his heart. I'm just a substitute. "Thank you, William." His expression became gloomy again. We've arrived at the gallery. Nancy saw me appear with William. It was a bit unexpected. I quickly said, "William is very curious about the art exhibition. He just came to take a look." A busy day quickly passed. Nancy originally planned to have dinner with me and chat about the details of the exhibition opening, but William suddenly interrupted. He said, "Have dinner with me tonight?" His tone was very firm. It was hard to refuse. I was about to decline. Nancy had already spoken up first. "That's fine. I happen to have some personal matters to attend to, so you two go ahead." Before I could respond, William directly pulled me towards his car. As soon as the car door closed, my phone vibrated. I looked down. It was a message from Nancy. "This is your first exhibition in the country. The Williams Group has a significant influence in the art world. Don't easily offend them." I thought William would take me to a fancy restaurant, but he drove straight back to his home. I walked into his house again. It felt like a long time had passed. I looked around. Everything was the same as before. It felt like time had stopped here. William slowly walked up beside me. He whispered, "Here, no one else has come here. It still looks the same as 5 years ago." I smiled slightly. I walked to the window. I said half-jokingly, "That's right. William has so many houses. He probably doesn't come here often." He lightly furrowed his brow. He didn't say anything more. He turned and walked into the kitchen. He skillfully tied on an apron. He started preparing dinner. I watched this scene. I was a bit surprised. "Now I can cook, of course," he answered confidently. His movements are skilled. He is completely different from the one who struggled to even boil noodles 5 years ago. Recalling those days, I'm a bit dazed. Back then, he couldn't even handle something as simple as boiling noodles. Once I was sick. I didn't cook for him. I just told him there were noodles in the kitchen and let him figure it out himself. As a result, he nearly burned down the kitchen. I had no choice but to drag my sick body to cook noodles for him. While eating, he didn't forget to say, "Your health is so poor. How will you take care of me in the future?" Before long, the table was filled with delicious home-cooked dishes. They were all my favorites from before. He looked at me with anticipation and said, "Give it a try. I remember you loved these the most." Watching William trying hard to please me in front of me, I couldn't help but sigh. "William, what exactly do you want to do?" 5 years ago, as soon as Sophia came back, I followed through with our agreement. I never clung to you. Why are you like this now? What is the reason? Did Sophia leave again? He clenched his fists in anger. His voice trembled. "Olivia, are you really that cold-hearted? We've been together for 3 years. Have you never liked me even a little? It's meaningless to say these things now. It's all over." I responded calmly, "But I still want to be with you." His eyes were filled with hope. I was momentarily stunned. I didn't expect him to express his feelings so directly. After a brief silence, I looked straight into his eyes and said firmly, "I am already married." Upon hearing this sentence, William looked as if he had been struck by lightning. He was completely stunned. His eyes were wide open. His face was full of surprise. I clearly and unequivocally told him once again, 5 years ago, I was in America. I was already married. Between us, it has become a thing of the past. That was it. Without waiting for his reply, I left his house. The matter from 5 years ago has long been over. There's no need to bring it up again now. I returned to the hotel. Just as I reached the door, I saw a familiar figure. "James." He saw me come back. A gentle smile appeared on his face. He walked over and said to me, "I came to Chicago for a meeting, and I thought I'd drop by to see you." I smiled lightly. With a hint of teasing, I asked, "Oh, so where is the meeting being held?" He was momentarily at a loss for words, trying to find an excuse but not coming up with a decent one. James shyly scratched his head. "Hand me the bag. Before coming here, Auntie specifically reminded me. She said you loved the candied chestnuts from this place when you were a child. I've kept it close to my heart. It's still warm now." I walked into the room while eating the chestnuts, while listening to James talk about his mother's recent situation. I said to him, "James, you've taken such good care of my mom these past few years. I really appreciate it. If it weren't for you, it might have been different." "That's what I should do," he quickly replied. "I have to thank you for trusting me so much back then," I said with a smile. All right. Let's not flatter each other anymore." He looked at me, suddenly becoming serious. "Actually, I came this time to talk about something." He hadn't finished speaking yet. The doorbell suddenly rang. I walked over to open the door. I didn't expect it to be William standing outside the door. As soon as the door opened, he grabbed my shoulder with force. It was too strong. I cried out in pain. He looked like he was in a hurry, breathing heavily. His voice was filled with urgency. "You're lying to me, right? Are you blaming me for not taking care of your mother that day?" But I really didn't know her condition was that serious. If I had known. James heard the noise and came out of the room. He quickly stepped forward to pull him away. "Sir, please calm down." William looked at James. His expression immediately became wary. "Who are you?" I grabbed James's hand. "Say it. He is my husband." James looked down at me. His gaze was warm and firm. He also tightened his grip on my hand. "Yes." William stared at our tightly held hands. His eyes were filled with rage. "Olivia, how could you do this?" I took a deep breath. "Let me emphasize again. William, I have made myself very clear. We ended things 5 years ago. I hope you can respect my choice. Don't come looking for me again." He was so angry that he punched the wall. His hand immediately started to bleed. He glared at me. He said through gritted teeth, "Fine. You did really well." After saying that, he turned around angrily and walked away briskly. After that day, William really didn't show up again. James stayed with me until my art exhibition opened. The exhibition was a great success. Many people came to visit on opening day. That day, Nancy suddenly called me to hurry to the exhibition. She said an important guest was coming. I rushed over. I found William and Sophia standing at the entrance of the gallery. As I approached, Sophia was warmly linking arms with William. She walked over to me. "Oh dear, Olivia, it's been a long time since we last met. I really didn't expect this. You have become such a famous painter now." I replied politely. "You are too kind." "Sophia, why don't you take a look and see if there's a painting you like?" "Sure. I'm planning to buy 2 paintings to decorate the new house for me and William. We're getting married next month." She finished speaking, shyly leaning against William. Her face showed a slightly proud smile. William gently frowned. He turned his head to the side. It seemed he was a bit uncomfortable with her closeness. "Then I congratulate you both. I'll recommend a few paintings suitable for your new home. You can take a look for reference." William listened. He turned his head. His eyes showed discontent and complicated emotions. Sophia decisively chose 2 paintings to buy. I happily sent the 2 of them off. I thought this matter had come to an end, but unexpectedly, when I got off work in the evening, William was standing right at the entrance of the art exhibition. He was drunk. Suddenly, he blocked my way. His voice was hoarse and filled with reluctance. "Olivia, I heard you're getting married. Are you really that happy about it?" I wanted to break free from his tightly held arm, but I didn't have enough strength. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get free. "Just divorce that person. I don't care that you've been married. We can start over." Looking at William, who was filled with reluctance, I found him somewhat ridiculous, even a bit pathetic. "William, do you really like me? You're just unwilling because I left suddenly 5 years ago. It's just your unwillingness inside, when Sophia wasn't around. You treated me as her replacement, and I left. And you felt unwilling, to put it simply. The person you love the most is only yourself." My words only made him angrier. He suddenly hugged me tightly. He tried to silence me with a kiss. I struggled with all my might, but he was too strong. I couldn't break free at all. I could even smell the alcohol on his breath. That feeling was both intense and domineering. Just then, William was knocked to the ground by a heavy punch. His body crashed heavily onto the ground. James's fist trembled slightly. He glared at William with fury in his eyes. I've never seen such a look of anger before. He immediately pulled me behind him and warned, "William, if you harass my lover again, we will take legal action to protect ourselves." William stood up unsteadily, shakily pointing at James, his face full of defiance. Who do you think you are? 5 years ago she was just. No matter what happened between you 5 years ago. Now she is my lover. James interrupted him directly, he said firmly, and his gaze suddenly became stern. I really can't understand. Why were you so adamant back then? You insisted on driving her mother out of the hospital. Now, how can you even say the words like "you're kind of liking" is truly hard to accept? After saying that, James pulled me directly into the car, leaving that troublesome place. After returning to the hotel, he carefully checked me from head to toe. His eyes were filled with worry and heartache. Only after confirming that I was fine did he breathe a sigh of relief. His tightly furrowed brow slowly relaxed. He looked at me. His tone was both apologetic and resolute. I really didn't expect him to be so extreme. In the following days, I will stay by your side to ensure your safety. My art exhibition just ended. An explosive piece of news has made the headlines. The Williams Group has announced the termination of all collaborations with the Sophia family. This has led to a financial breakdown for the Sophia family. They are facing a bankruptcy crisis. The Sophia family is the business of the Sophia household. I am filled with confusion. Wasn't William and Sophia about to get married? How could all collaborations suddenly be canceled? Suddenly, Sophia called. Let's meet. Don't you want to know why your mother suddenly had a lung infection? When we first arrived in America, the medical team from the James family had raised this issue. Mother's heart condition should have remained stable under the advanced monitoring of the Williams Group's equipment, but a lung infection occurred. At that time, we thought it was caused by side effects of the medication, so we didn't investigate further. Now, everything seems to have a new explanation. I feel a chill slowly rising in my heart. Sophia arranged for us to meet on the rooftop of the once glorious office building of the Sophia family, but now it's facing bankruptcy. All that's left there is emptiness and desolation. You're here. She slowly turned around. Her eyes were hollow and indifferent. Tell me, what is the truth about my mother's critical illness back then? How could I let a woman like you keep clinging to William? So, if your mother is gone, your contract with him will automatically become void. She smirked slightly. Her tone was icy cold. What you're doing is illegal. I will make you face the consequences. I scolded her loudly, but Sophia seemed not to hear. Go on, I thought. After I left, William would understand. I was the irreplaceable person in his heart. He would listen to me, but then you appeared. You completely disrupted my plans, she continued. What's worse is, William is by your side. Slowly forget about me. I can't accept that. I will never allow it. She is emotionally agitated. Her words were filled with jealousy and resentment. Suddenly, she rushed over. Her hands tightly gripped my face. Her eyes sparkled with madness. I originally thought, as long as you were gone, William would one day return to my side, but he told me, he has fallen in love with you. I struggled with all my might, trying to pry her increasingly strong hands apart, but she was already blinded by jealousy. Her strength was terrifying. Step by step, she pushed me to the edge of the rooftop. The wind roared in my ears. Her hands clamped down on my neck like iron pincers. Her voice was filled with resentment. That guy William, I found out about what I did in the past. It was actually for you. We have to sever all cooperation with our family. Because of you, my family went bankrupt. This is all your fault, however. Don't think you'll have it easy either. She suddenly pushed hard. She pushed me to the edge of the rooftop railing in an instant. At this critical moment, the rooftop door was suddenly slammed open. James rushed in with the police, shouting, "Stop it." The police pointed their guns at Sophia. Warning shot. Otherwise, we will shoot. Sophia laughed loudly. All right, since no one wants to live, then let's die together. Sophia burst into laughter. Her grip tightened even more. In the blink of an eye, I lost my balance. I fell out of the railing. At that moment, the sound of gunfire from the police also rang out. James reacted quickly. He tightly grabbed my arm by the railing. His eyes were bloodshot, shouted desperately, "Olivia!" The police were holding my hand. They helped me back to safety. James held me tightly. His voice was a bit shaky. "Olivia, I promise. I will never let you leave my side again." The police hurried over. They covered Sophia, who was lying on the ground, with a white cloth. William had just come out of the building. He rushed over to me, but when he noticed James beside me, he hesitated for a moment. He stopped in his tracks. His eyes revealed complex emotions. He asked softly, "Olivia, are you?" Okay, I saw the news about Sophia. He asked cautiously. James tightened my coat, standing in front of me. William, if you truly love someone, you should wish for her safety and happiness, not bring her danger and trouble. William's expression became serious. He hesitated to speak. Olivia, your mother suddenly fell seriously ill back then. It was actually Sophia who was causing trouble behind the scenes. I really didn't know what was going on at that time. I just wanted you to say you liked me. That's why I intentionally scared you. I interjected. William, let the past be the past. You helped me pay for my mother's medical expenses back then. I am really grateful. But now, I just want to live quietly. I hope we won't see each other again. After saying that, I linked my arm with James's. I smiled faintly. Let's go. After getting in the car, James kindly fastened my seatbelt. Then he gently moved my arm. We should still go to the hospital for a checkup. After the fall just now, I don't know if I injured my bones. I grabbed his hand. His gaze is gentle. Okay, let's wait until we finish seeing the doctor. Let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau. James was taken aback for a moment. He heard that marriage certificates issued in the U.S. might not be recognized in China. So he said, before we go back home, let's register again in China. James's eyes were filled with tenderness. Teardrops were welling up in his eyes. He gently kissed the back of my hand. With deep affection, he said, Olivia, thank you, I promise you. I will definitely protect you in this lifetime. From that moment on, we became husband and wife. We become husband and wife. We trust each other. Together, we create our own happy life.